through how do we do DLLs in Visual Studio. Now, obviously the title says probably in Unity. I don't know what I'm going to name the title, but here's a heads up. You can't create them in and develop, or at least that I've googled. I haven't actually personally tried, but I know you can definitely create them in this. Now, they're very useful for plugins, as you can see here. Obviously, this is not even related to what I'm doing. It's just a little side project I'm building. I don't know if you can do it in Sublime. I was using Sublime for a little bit, and then they released a new update which gave Visual Studio a whole new look. So if you haven't upgraded to Visual Studio and you're using a Windows computer, I definitely suggest you do it. If you're using a Mac, you'll have to stick with Monitor Up or use, I think there's a few other good ones that you can Google, and there's quite a few good other ones. I don't know if you can do on Mac DLLs as easily as you can do on computer, but I know that on like a PC, and it's still probably possible, though I would agree with that. As you see here, we have two scripts. This is under our enum library, so even though these two different scripts, they obviously are all held under a single file. Very useful. And I'll show you the usefulness of this very soon. How to show you this right now. As you're seeing right now, all I have to say is just say using enum library. Actually, don't need system. And what is using enum library does mean is that, see these little enums here? They're not declared anywhere. However, they are declared under AI enum, and this is where we're getting all this stuff from. So it means that you don't need to have lines and lines of code in your things. It makes code a bit more readable. It makes things a little bit nicer. And even though I have to enum helper here, because obviously enum helper is a class, and you can't just have functions inside namespaces. However, you can have enums inside namespaces. So that's why you don't obviously need it for the enums, but you do need it for the classes. Don't worry, I will be writing all this again, so don't you worry. I'll do all this. I'm just going to show you kind of what I can do. So we have a few things here. We have a list of an enum, a enumerable of an enum, an array of an enum, and then these are just the functions. And then we're just going to debug the description, because you see each of these enums have descriptions. If you don't know about enum descriptions, they're basically just an attribute, and they're called under the component menu. And these attributes just can basically store a little bit of text. And this means that we can check whether or not you press equals or whether or not you do the equal sign. It's a bit more complicated than what it seems. I'm actually kind of almost doing, it's an XML coding style that doesn't require coding, so people can modify my game, modify a lot of the properties, modify the AI, or it's how it works, using these very simple commands and using lookups and stuff like this. It's a little quite complex, so I'm not going to explain it, because it's not video to do it, but I'm just saying that's what this stuff is here. Anyway, so I'll run the program. There will be a bunch of errors because of my scripts that I'm running, but these errors aren't coming from, they're coming from Bala, which isn't what we're running. So it's nothing I can really stop. It's just like this game's like halfway through development. So as you see here, we have, these are our description values. We'll reload it. We'll go here, as you see, description values. These are the lookups that we're looking for. So these description values, and if we run again, obviously we can see that we're getting all the values here as well. Very, very cool, very, very nifty. One thing you will notice is you go, hey, wait, you didn't. The one thing that wasn't called was the enumerable. Well, enumerable, it is being created. I'll show you. What do you mean that? You see that this stuff is still being called. You see, it's obviously a different type because now it's calling these instead, right? But they're still being called. And what's happening is enumerable can't actually be shown in the inspector. That's not my fault. This is Unity. So that is just what's happening there. Anyway, let's get started into how we can do it. So we're going to create a new project. You can call this new project whatever the hell you want. It doesn't even matter because we're just going to be doing a bunch of debugs with it. But I still want to show you it. So we're just going to call this DLL in Unity. Obviously, if you want to download Visual Studio, I have a video. There would be an annotation at the top of the screen or whatever, and it's just a video showing you how to install Visual Studio in Unity 5.2. I've already done one previously, but that version won't work anymore. It's really easy, really simple, and hopefully the video made is good enough. And I'm going to start off by creating a new folder. We're going to call this plugins. You have to really do this. It's not just a nice courtesy, it's really kind of, I know it's not needed, but whenever you import things, normally they'll be imported into the plugins, right? And often I have had cases where DLLs have to go in the plugins. It's just like how Unity handles things, but it should be fine if you put it elsewhere, right? There shouldn't be too many problems, but there could be, so I don't know, and Unity could change things, so just put your DLLs in plugins. Anyway, we're going to have scripts, we're going to have a few scripts. We're going to just have example script. This will just, by the way, just run all the examples like that we've done previously, like this. Okay, anyway, we can close this. By the way, there's nothing else working other than that one script. So, I'm going to move this over here just so I don't make any mistakes. But, anyway, you start off in something quite similar. If we have Visual Studio, you end up with something like this. You can just exit the start page. Now we're going to click new, and we want to go to this thing called project. This will create a new project for us. Now we want to go to templates, Visual C#, Windows, class library. You may look at this other stuff and you go, oh, classic. No, we just want a class library. You go, wait, what's this? This is a portable. Unity will be fine since it will make them portable for Windows Phone. So don't worry about using a special type. You just do the default, because sometimes it always doesn't. You know, the portable, I don't know whether or not it would work 100% well with Unity. Now this name is very important, because this is going to be the name of your class. And while you can rename your classes, it's just nice not to. Actually, this is not going to be the name of your class. This is going to be the name of your namespace. So if you don't know what a namespace is, it's this little thing here. See, both my codes, both my scripts have the same namespace. That's just the little namespace that you're going to be using, that using function. If you don't have a namespace, you won't be able to do that using function. So make sure you do. So we're going to call this, how about we have, well, we're going to do enums, right? So we'll just do an enum library. It's the same as we had before, right? But even enum library. These are really, as you said, they call them class libraries. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean dynamic link library, so obviously, but I mean, you can call them whatever the hell you want. Okay. Oh yeah. So how we call it? You really shouldn't do this, but we'll call it enum library, just because it's like YouTube, and you can call it enum library. I'm just gonna call it enum library, just so I know it's YouTube. You'll see it load up, and you'll see a few things. You'll see your code here. You'll see this Solution Explorer. If you don't see this Solution Explorer, what you want to do is you want to go up here, go Window, not Window, View, Solution Explorer, and there it should pop up. Yes, that's all you want. So what you want to do is we see a few things here. We see this thing's called named as class 1. We don't really want to name it as class 1. We want to rename it. So this is going to be called our enum helper. And we're gonna basically see this thing's still called class 1. So what we're gonna do is we want to right click here, and we can change the class name here, but we could also right click and rename. So you may not have these properties window, so I'm just gonna do it here. We call it enum helper. Basically whatever this class is called. Next we wanna do a few things. We wanna right click this reference, and we can click add reference. You can also right click here and go add reference. Either is fine. We want to add a reference, and we're going to add it to our unity.dll. So what you want to do is you want to go browse, find your Unity install. It may be called Unity 5.1, maybe called Unity 5.2, maybe called just Unity. Guys, whatever Unity you're using. Now, you go, well, how do I find this? Well, the easiest way to find it is you go File. You find this little, see this little thing here, this little shortcut? Well, what you want to do is you can do, this is a way you can do it. You can right click here, you can go open file location, and there you have your file location. And you can right click here, you can go open file location, you get this here, and then you can go obviously back to Unity editor, data, all that stuff, right? So you can just find your Unity drive, what you guess. Okay, so we want to go not click that. Damn it. Really? Okay, just two guess, just close, please. Thank you. It's pretty simple. Gosh. Okay, find Unity 5.1 or whatever it's called. Editor, data, managed .dll. You can also find the editor.dll if you're going to be using the editor. You may use editor, you may not. You don't know what you're going to be using, so maybe do both of them. I'm just going to do engine in this example because that's all that's really needed. I mean, well, in a way it's needed, also in a way it's not. It's not needed specifically since I'm not going to be using mono behavior, but I know this is weird, but you may also need it, kind of thing, right? So it's good to have it in your project, and because it's good to have, I'll include both of them, and then I'll click OK. And if I click references now, you see Unity Editor, Unity Engine right here. So that means I can do this using Unity Editor and using Unity Engine. Now you go, well, if you could do that before, what if I move it? You see, if I save, apparently it's not needed. It shouldn't be. Oh, it's probably because of this. Yeah, there we go. See, it's finding that you can't do them anymore. For some reason, just having editor, it was enough for some reason. Anyway, I can go add reference and then add them both back. And that should fix it. There we go, done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Is that politically incorrect now? I think it is. No, it's not. So we can go create a, well, there's a few things. This is going to be a static class. And then we want a public static string. So there's going to be all statics. And we want to get an enum description. Let's turn off freaking. I really shouldn't run like 50 of these applications. Enum value. And then we go field info. Before we do this, we actually have a few things. We want to be using system.component menu model, and we're also going to be using system.reflection. Now this is just going to be a very simple, quick thing. Field info. Really? There we go. Get type. You may not want to use this, but I mean, it's always good to get some experience of value. String. Description attribute. Attributes is equal to description attribute. So we're doing cast of phi.get custom attribute type of description attribute. So there's a lot of casting. I think we want to run the Fox command. That should be fine. For some reason this isn't working. Oh. I was like, what? It's not working, and then I realized it is a necessary cast, by the way. Attributes does not equal null, and attributes is greater than 0. But make sure you have that, actually no, we don't need this here. Okay, one big thing about this, you got to make sure that your if statement, you have the null first and then the length second. Right, because otherwise the reason why is that's what you want. The reason is that it will check the length, and then that will return an error going, hey, well, it's null, so you can't get the length, and then because the length is like null, so that's why. So that's why you have to make sure you do that. Okay. Next, there's a few things. These are basically all the same, so I'm just gonna build one, then copy and paste it a bunch of times. I'll just build two. I'll build the array one, and then I'll also build the list one, and that's it. So, yeah, wait, what does this T mean? Well, if you don't know what T means, you probably want to afterwards maybe Google a little bit. You know, find out a bit more about something called generic templates. Oh, that's why. I forgot. There we go. That works. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, what this means is that you give it a type, and then it can use that type. So what? I'll show you what I mean. C and T is our type. So here, what we're saying is we're saying that we're going to get type, and this is our enum type, and that will be type of T. So basically, here, so we can't use constraints on value types. So because you could give it a float, and we don't want a float here. We only want enum types. So what we want to do is we want to say if the base type does not equal the type of type of enum. So if it does not equal enum, then what we're going to do is we're going to throw a new argument exception. T must be of type system enum. So that's very important that you have that, because then you could give a float and it'll be like trying to get something from a float, which it won't have, and then that will return an error and you have no clue what's happening. Since this will be part of a DLL, so you won't be able to actually look inside it, you'll be like, what the hell is happening? So you need to make sure you actually do that. We get our values of enum type. And return enum val array. Very, very simple. There's a little bit more complexities for all the other ones, but they're not too bad. So we're going to copy and paste this, and we're going to change this to a list. And list is pretty easy. You just go list of T, and then we change this to enum.list. And then we go type of T, same thing, there's no difference. And then this is where it's a bit different. We create an same called an array. So what's different here is, you go, wait, isn't that array? Yes, it is an array. But here we actually don't really care about the type. This is where it's a bit different. Is that we don't care about the specific formatting of the array. Just give us an array, right? It should format it right. But if you go something like here and you go array T, it won't like it. See? System.array, what we want is we actually want to use the generic list array kind of thing, if you get what I'm saying. So by doing this, this is the proper formatting of an array. It's still an array, they're both arrays, and they both should work quite nicely together, but they're not what we want. And list of T is an enum val list equals new list of enum val array dot length. And this is what's a bit weird. We go for each int val enum val array. We can add enum val list to add of T. So we're going to do a T cast. Make sure you do T cast dot pass of enum type. We know it's going to be of enum type because we've already done that check. So we shouldn't need the special try pass. We should just be able to do that, and then we can return enum val list like this. and see, it works perfectly. There's going to be one other thing we're going to do. We're going to actually also return a list of strings. Sorry, string, and we're going to go enum description. Enum description to list of string. Obviously, you don't do that because it's generic. Don't be stupid. Well, we actually do care about T though, because we do still want T. And then all we do is here we have this list, and we make sure this is string. We actually don't care about the length. Here we just don't really care, right? Because normally we should care, but here we want to check whether or not the description actually exists. Because if we don't give a description, actually, technically if we don't give a description, our script will just return the proper value. So yeah, we should probably just do that. Yeah. Okay. We'll do enum valArray to length. You do have to do a special initialization, even if you don't need to always include the length, by the way, but yeah, you don't need to. So what we do is, this is where it gets a bit more confusing. We go enum helper. Actually, we have enum helper. Yay! So we can just go what's called get enum description. Let's see. It should work. Should pass. Let's do it this way. This way it will be a bit nicer, and then when we do is go get enum description of enum valArray of val enum you should be able to do this. Should like a bit more. Probably go type, enum type. Just do T. There we go. From T to system enum. Oh, we do want to go from enum. I actually had this, but like now it's a bit more complex because of how it's working. If we do a generic array, it could work a bit nicer. Do this because it's actually enum. Yeah, it's gonna work a bit nicer now. It should. It's not generating any errors. That's good. That's all you want. We're not gonna do it for the array. We're just gonna do it here. Here it's super simple. There we go. 24 minutes. Let's get it done. So next we're gonna do something a bit different. We also don't have any enums here, so we're gonna go right click here, add class, just select this first class, call it enums, then call it our how about we just call it basic enums. and we don't want any class, we just want base enums, and then we're going to call this public enum help cases, errors. I don't know, like what do you want to say? Yeah, whatever. We're just going to say warning, dangerous, slow down, stop, I don't know, G down, I don't know. So then you go, well, the thing is that G down or whatever, we may not want to say G down. We may want to have descriptions. This is where we can put description. And put description is quite easy. You go using, I believe it's, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, system, the component menu, module, sorry. And then we go description, it'll pop up. And then we just do another bracket, no, another, parentheses, whatever you want to call it. Then we can do a text. For example, if I put backslashes and forward slashes, it will return an error. I see here, because it goes, what it's saying is it's saying that, hey, there's a big error here because there's a new line, or because it expects you to quit, or whatever, as it won't actually show up error in there, I forgot. And the reason why is that this little thing here is having problems. And the reason we solve this is by doing this and symbol. All this and symbol says is it says take the next string as just a string. Because as you know, you can do paths, and paths include these little arrow, these special things. So here we'll put warning like this, just for example. We'll put another description, and this is going to be dangerous, so we'll just do the and symbol. I will suggest you do, just in case. And we'll put very dangerous hill ahead. I don't know, right? Description. Slow down, please, sir. What you can see here is you can see that you can have a lot longer messages and stuff like this. And this allows us to kind of have space bars. It allows us to format things quite nicely, so we can have like a much nicer enum. Because obviously enums kind of spaces, and it's kind of nasty. Here we can put like a few symbols like this, which you can't. You can't put numbers in enums, all that stuff. Like you can actually put enums. I forgot if you can put enum, but if I put this, it will have problems with that. And here we'll put good day, mate. I don't know. Have a nice day. Have a G day. I don't know. Right? It doesn't even matter what I say. That's just gonna be one enum. We're not gonna create two. We're just gonna create one, just because it doesn't really matter. Next is gonna be a pretty big thing. You right click here. You go properties. We're almost done. We find this little thing here, and this is 4.5.2. We're gonna change it to 3.5. You can go here. We can go here. You can just do 3.5, and that's what I normally do. But you can also do these. It doesn't matter whether you do 3.5 or full base class libraries or subset base class libraries or whatever. I'm just going to do it full base class libraries, and it should work perfectly, but you can do whatever the hell you want. One thing you notice is that tasks is no longer in it, in this, in 3.5. And another thing you notice is you get these two errors here, so you not only do move that file, but you also open up references, and you just delete these things here. And you'll see that when there's no errors, what you want to do is you go release, and you want to click this little start button. You'll get most likely an error, or a little dialogue. This doesn't matter, who cares? Like, don't worry about the error. The fact is, this little build succeed, it says you right. So we're going to open up, here, you can go to documents. We're going to scroll right down to Visual Studio, go to projects, go to Unum Library, click this little bin here, You just double check you got all your names and stuff like that. Go release, not debug. You want to go release, and then you see a bunch of scripts here. What you want to do is you want to steal your enum library. See this little DLL here that just says enum library? You don't care about the rest. The rest don't concern you. You open up your script, you open up this, and you just drag in your enum library. And you can drag this into plugins, where the hell you want, right? Like we will. And see, you can just click it, check that it's all working. Yes, this is perfect. Now we're going to run our example script. You can close the windows. And we're going to do a few things. Now, one thing you'll notice that when I run this example script, once it loads, is that we can actually go using in enum library. And then we can have a start function, just like we had before. We're going to have a few public list of what? Oh, sorry, I forgot. List of, guess what? What do we call them? If you forget, you can go enum library dot errors. That's what we call them. Okay. It's a really simple name. I'm just bad with them. We can call it, how do we call this list? We didn't have our enumerable. We just had an array, so we can go error array. And then we'll how do we do a string? This string description like this. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go list equals enum helper. Even though this is based off enum library, I don't need to include that part, so I'm gonna go enum library. We can go to list of errors. Simple array, same thing. Array of errors. And then we can go this description. We'll keep this in a separate line just for example. Dot description to list of errors. We'll do that bunch. I know it's going to complain that this is wrong. To fix this error, you can just close the window and reopen it, and it will fix itself once it starts. The reason it takes long is because Unity added a bunch of support, and that just means it takes a little bit longer. Okay, example script. Drag this in here. You see we've got a batch arrays. We're going to run this. Then, there we go. And our list, an array, and all this stuff. And you see we've got all our symbols with no errors. Isn't that pretty cool? That's a simple way that you can do enums in a very cool little way. We're just going to press default. This won't be in the description below, obviously, because it's a pretty simple setup. But there will probably be a free giveaway thing about a bunch of libraries coming out soon. If you want to, you've got a bunch of scripts that you commonly use that are, even if it's super simple, it doesn't matter. Just obviously you can either paste bin them or whatever the hell you want to do, and do you want to create, like, I don't know, don't do downloads, just do like paste bin. So you can just Google paste and then copy and paste your code in there, or GitHub. And then I will include those. But downloads, obviously not, because you obviously download. I mean, if it's a bunch of scripts, I probably will. Anyway. See you guys next time.